What's up, gamers? So I saw a post on Reddit that a guy presses a button and it typed out the Navy SEALs copypasta, and I thought it was pretty funny, and I wanted to do something similar. So here's what I made, and it works surprisingly well. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Let's look at this Arduino code, and I know this is not how you're supposed to do it, but I'm implementing the skills I had, which was just printing to the serial. So I inside this loop, we just have a basic code that's detecting a button press. I just send a serial code that just says, or I printed the serial that says here, and I also have a little bit of code that's detecting if you're holding it. So I have it as 20 ticks and it is an end, and that code is just helpful for closing the port, so I don't have an infinite loop in my Python code. So let's take a look at the Python. Basically, I'm using the PRA, which is the Python's Reddit API wrapper, which made this really easy because you can see this is only 12 lines of code, and I'm choosing here the subreddit to be copypasta, and I'm taking top of the hour, and I'm basically just returning it as a list of characters, and I'm calling this from this read serial Python code, which is opening the port. So I'm using this package called PySerial. I'm opening the port com3, which is just the USB plug I have the Arduino plugged into, and it's taking that keyword I'm sending from Arduino into the serial, and when it detects that, I can use a package called keyboard and write it out, and I have a little bit of a timer sleeping, so it looks like it's typing. So the first thing is the presentation. Obviously, it's in a hot glued cardboard box, and this is not what I wanted to do. I actually own a 3D printer, and I was going to print a box, but I wasn't actually convinced that this was going to work, so I ended up just hot gluing a box together so I could take it apart also when I'm done, because this is just going to be temporary. Second thing is that the code is pretty limited, so I have the Arduino code using this weird workaround way of sending to a serial and then having to have Python running in the background for the keyboard to actually work. And ideally, I was going to use an Arduino Mini and a Wi-Fi module, so all of the code could be written on one thing, and so it would just be plug and play. You plug it in and it works as a keyboard instead of having to run the Python script in the background. I didn't want to buy one. I had this one sitting around, so there we go. So I don't even know if it's possible, but I haven't looked into it. But probably the Python Reddit scraping was pretty easy, and I don't really wanted to have to learn how to do that on the Arduino. So this actually makes it easier that I'm able to start the Python script and just have the Python code be easy to write. The second problem is that I wanted to be able to plug in the USB and have the Python script start, and I wasn't able to figure this out. So my idea is that I could have the serial, much like it's printing the keywords like here when the button's pressed, say something like Python read serial.py, much like how I type it into a bash command to start the program. And I think this is possible, but I wasn't actually able to figure out how to do it, and I don't really care because you can just start the program. This isn't actually that useful of a device anyways, so maybe in another world, if I was more experienced, I could have it plug in, and maybe the Arduino handles that, or you probably still need some software on the computer pre-installed. But again, ideally this works as a plug into any computer, and it installs itself like a keyboard, but I didn't care enough how to figure that out. So you start the Python, and then it's able to start detecting buttons, and it copies and pastes the copypasta code, and it works. So yeah, that's it.